The first thing the night clerk noticed was that the man at pump number 3 had been standing there for over an hour without a car. The second thing he noticed was that the security camera showed the man inside the store. The night shift at the gas station always felt like a punishment no one quite remembered assigning. It sat alone off a stretch of highway that cut through miles of dead fields and skeletal trees. No nearby town, no streetlights beyond the flickering canopy over the pumps. Just the hum of the fluorescent bulbs and the endless dark pressing in from all sides. Armin had only taken the job because it paid slightly more than anything else available. "It's quiet," the manager had told him. "You'll barely see anyone after midnight." That part was true. By 2:13 a.m., the world felt abandoned. The digital clock behind the counter ticked forward with a soft, irritating beep every minute. Armin leaned back in his chair, scrolling mindlessly through his phone, occasionally glancing at the security monitors. 4 camera feeds: pumps, parking lot, entrance, and the back storage hallway. Nothing ever happened. Until the phone rang. It was the landline behind the counter, an old beige thing that looked like it had survived several decades and possibly a fire. No one ever called it. Ever. Armin stared at it for a moment before picking it up. "Hello?" Static. Then, breathing. Not normal breathing. Wet, uneven, like air passing through something broken. "Hello?" he repeated, frowning. A voice came through, barely audible. "Don't let it inside." The line went dead. Armin blinked, pulling the receiver away slowly. He looked at the caller ID screen. Unknown. "Great," he muttered. "Prank calls at 2 a.m. He hung up, trying to shake off the unease creeping into his chest. That's when he noticed something on the monitor. Camera 1. Pumps. Someone was standing out there. Armin leaned forward. The figure stood beside pump number 3, completely still. No car, no movement, just standing. The overhead light flickered, briefly illuminating them more clearly. A man. Tall. Too tall. His limbs seemed slightly off, like they were longer than they should be. His head tilted at an unnatural angle, almost as if his neck couldn't properly support it. Armin swallowed. Okay, that's weird. He waited for the man to come inside. He didn't. 5 minutes passed. 10. The man didn't move an inch. Finally, with a sigh, Armin stood up. "Fine, I'll go check." He grabbed a flashlight from under the counter, more out of habit than necessity, and pushed the glass door open. The bell chimed. The night air hit him, cold, still, and heavy with the smell of gasoline and something else. Something rotten. "Hey," Armin called. "You need something?" No response. The man remained motionless. Armin stepped closer, his shoes crunching softly on gravel. "Sir?" His head twitched. Not turned, twitched. A sharp, jerking motion that made Armin freeze. Slowly, his head rotated toward him. Too far. It didn't stop at a natural angle. It kept turning, further and further, until his chin was nearly over his shoulder. Armin's breath caught. "Sir, are you okay?" The man's mouth opened, far too wide, a black, hollow gape that seemed to stretch beyond what a human face could allow. And then he ran, not toward Armin, away, into the darkness beyond the pumps. Gone in seconds. Armin stood there, heart hammering. What the hell? He turned,
backing towards the store, never taking his eyes off the empty field where the man had disappeared. The moment he stepped back inside, he locked the door. Something was wrong, very wrong. He returned to the counter, glancing at the monitors again. Camera 1, empty. Camera 2, empty parking lot. Camera 3, entrance, him, pale and shaken. Camera 4, Armin froze. The storage hallway. Someone was standing at the end of it, inside. He whipped around, staring at the actual hallway behind the counter. Dark, empty. Slowly, he looked back at the monitor. The figure was still there, standing at the far end, half hidden in shadow. Tall, head tilted. Armin's throat grew dry. That's not possible. The light in the hallway flickered. On the screen, the figure took a step forward. Armin spun around again. Nothing there. Back to the monitor. Another step closer. A soft sound echoed from the hallway. A footstep. Real. This time, it wasn't just on the screen. Armin grabbed the flashlight, his hand shaking. "Hello?" he called, his voice barely steady. "The store is closed. You need to leave." No answer. Another step. Closer. The light in the hallway flickered again and went out. The monitor feed turned grainy, but the figure was still visible. Closer now. Too close. Armin backed away, bumping into the counter. The bell rang again. He nearly screamed. After a moment, he forced himself to pick it up. "Hello?" The same voice, more urgent now. "It learns. Don't look at it. Don't. A loud crack interrupted the call. The hallway. Armin looked up. Something was moving in the darkness. Not walking, crawling. Fast. He dropped the phone. The thing emerged just enough for him to see its outline. Limbs bent the wrong way, head dragging sideways. And then it stopped. Right at the edge of the light spilling from the store. Slowly, it lifted its head. Its face. It wasn't a face anymore. It was trying to be one. Features shifting, stretching, correcting themselves like something practicing how to look human. And then it spoke. In Armin's voice. "Hello?" Armin's blood turned to ice. The thing smiled, too wide, too perfect, and stepped fully into the light. The bell above the door rang. Armin flinched, turning instinctively towards the entrance. For a split second, he looked away. When he turned back, the hallway was empty. The monitor flickered back to normal. Nothing there. Silence filled the store again. No footsteps, no breathing, nothing. Armin stood frozen for what felt like hours. Finally, slowly, he backed towards the door. "I'm leaving," he whispered to himself. "I'm done. Screw this job." He reached for the lock. The phone rang again. He hesitated. It rang, and rang, and rang. Against his better judgment, he picked it up one last time. What? Only silence. Then, his own voice from the other end. "Hello?" Armin dropped the receiver. Behind him, the bell above the door chimed again. But he hadn't opened it. Very slowly, he turned. Standing just inside the entrance was Armin. Same clothes, same face, same terrified expression. But the smile was wrong. too wide, too knowing. It tilted its head exactly the way the man at the pump had, and whispered, "You let me in." The lights went out. The next morning, the gas station was found empty. No sign of Armin, no signs of struggle, just the hum of the fluorescent lights and the security monitor on loop, showing him standing at the counter, smiling, waiting.